Hi everyone, I'm attorney Poonam Minhas. I practice U.S. immigration law all over the United States. Today I have some good news, and I know what you're wondering. Oh my God, she finally has some good news for us. Well, this time it's about the April 2026 Visa Bulletin, and specifically the dates for filing chart under the family-sponsored section of F2A. So what does F2A cover? It covers spouses of green card holders and unmarried children who are under the age of 21 of green card holders. So make sure you stay tuned to check out today's topic and get this great update if this applies to you or someone you know. All right, well, before I talk about the good news, have you subscribed yet? If you haven't, then there's a button right there. Hit subscribe and also the bell icon to stay updated on anything I post on U.S. immigration law. And hit the like button if you like today's good news. All right, let's jump right into it. So the Visa Bulletin, specifically the April 2026 chart, which is focused on the family-sponsored section under F2A, as I mentioned before, for spouses of green card holders or children that are unmarried of green card holders that are under 21. What does that say about them? So if you take a look at the dates for filing for F2A specifically under the family-sponsored chart, not the final action section, but the actual dates for filing, you will see that it shows up as C. So C means current. And what that means is you don't have to wait in line in order to file an application. And today I'm going to specifically talk about adjustment of status based on that. So dates for filing, what it really means if it's under current is that you don't have to wait to file the application, but there are certain requirements you need to meet as a beneficiary or foreign national in those categories of F2A. And I'll go over that with you. But before I do that, I also want to put out there that the NVC Bulletin does change. Every month when the bulletin comes out, it may be different, it may not be different. It really depends. And the other thing I want to mention is that issuing the visa or the actual green card is determined by the officer for adjustment of status. It's based on their discretion, and also it's based on that final action date chart, which you will see above. So that's a little different, and I know it gets confusing. I'm not going to really break down what each of those charts mean. I've done it in a previous video. I'll put it in the description section, so if you want to go check that out, you may. So it kind of just describes like how the breakdown is done, but for some people it's very confusing. And for some, it might be very familiar because they are watching these charts to make sure that they can file their applications based on the priority date they have. All right, I know that's a mouthful. I know that's a lot of information, but let's just jump into the requirements. So specifically, this is talking about adjustment of status based on the April 2026 Visa Bulletin for the F2A category. Okay, so are you a spouse of a green card holder? Okay, or are you the unmarried child of a green card holder who is under the age of 21? And have you maintained your lawful status in the United States? And maybe you might be in the process of now filing either the adjustment of status or filing the entire I-130 485, right? Are you the person that has maintained the status and you're eligible to file the paperwork with USCIS? And are you physically in the United States, right? So some visas that I can think of on the top of my head might be like, oh, you might have student status, F1, or you might have an H1B. It all depends on what type of visa you have. And the best thing to do is get your case evaluated to see if you even qualify under that category and whether it's wise for you to file your case with USCIS. All right, the other thing I want to mention is you want to also make sure that you haven't violated the terms and conditions of your visa and have not engaged in any unauthorized employment. So that's really important. There are certain rules and regulations that apply for that specific category, and not so much if you're like an immediate relative of maybe a US citizen or something like that. So it all depends. Each category and each filing has their own rules and regulations. Like employment-based has their own, family-based has their own, immediate relatives have a different, requirement where certain things are waived or certain things don't count against them, but which might not work in the same manner for individuals who are trying to file under the F2A category, which is obviously what I mentioned before, spouses of green card holders or unmarried children who are under the age of 21 of green card holders. There are certain rules and regulations you want to make sure you match with before you file these applications. And that's where you need to speak to an experienced immigration attorney to make sure you are in the clear of filing applications and what to expect. So I just want to say, finally, I think I came back with some good news, and I hope this might help someone just to put them on alert and see, hey, maybe it's time for me to consult with someone and really get things going. I just want to say thank you to everyone for continuing to watch me, and I will be back with more videos, more updates, and more topics that, might share some insight on this confusing area of law of U.S. immigration. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon.